Yes, guys.
Yes, guys.
Welcome back to the Sync Boys podcast.
Sync Boys.
Playoffs. Expectations, sadness, disappointment.
I would say the opposite. Maybe expectations are here and it's been fucking nuts.
Okay, the overall playoffs, yes, but I was going to say in terms of teams and how I thought things were going to go, especially game one of the NHL playoffs, it's game one. It is in no way, shape, or form should be relied upon for moving forward. You know what I'm saying?
Like how the series are going to go.
One.
Yeah.
It's the first game of the entire playoffs. But in terms of the NBA, I've been let down by every single first game of the series so far, except for the Warriors, which is really the one that I care about. But anyway, we're going to start off today with the NHL. We have two rants today, two scheduled rants. One of them is Jack with the Flames. I have one on the Mavericks and Luka Doncic. Fuck. You know what? Nah, Doncic. I'm just going to
Yeah. No. That'll be an inside joke for the podcast going forward.
Yes.
3 years from now, people are going to be like, "Who the fuck is Doncic?" We're going to be like,
"Yeah, we're going to know."
Yeah. And the old, the longtime fans, Dad,
the day ones.
Dude, I'm not wearing a hood because he's like, "You guys look like you're hiding something." It's just like,
I mean, you could see there's a cage. Whatever, we don't have to get into that.
Yeah, but my head is freezing. So, all right. So I'm starting off with the Flames rant. I am upset about how everyone is crowning this team the Western Conference champs already. They're going to beat the Avs. They're SDP, Steve Dangle podcast I listen to. They're built like a playoff team. They're the class of the NHL. EJ and Danico doing the pregame preview or whatever. They're picking the Flames. Okay, that's expected. They're probably going to win game one, maybe. We don't know. People have them beating the Avs. That is insane to me. In a 7-game series, I don't even know if the Flames are going to make it to the Western Conference final.
Tweet. I'm just retweeting every sentence that comes out of your mouth.
Dude, they're the least reliable team. And it's not just because me and Joe bet on them and they let us down. Maybe they beat the Oilers or the Kings. And they probably beat Dallas. But that's my hot take of the playoffs. I have Dallas in 6. Like, that's sounding hotter and hotter when I'm hearing all these other people's opinions. But they're not.
We do on the Sync Boys podcast. We go against the grain. We don't care what other people. Well, fuck.
Tell them.
We watch the games, we analyze, and we make and see things that other people should see, but they tend to ignore that. There's a lot of box score watchers these days. A lot of box score watchers. Guys that are too much into analytics with the mathematics and the whole process. Fuck that. Yeah. Watching the game, situational, personnel, all that shit matters. Continue.
Yeah, I cannot stand when people jump into arguments when they didn't watch the game. I watched both hockey games start to finish last night, both that were on ESPN. Just kidding, that's cap. The Blues were smoking the other team, so I switched over to ESPN2 to watch the Kings game. Either way.
Game watchers.
Daryl Sutter, their coach, doesn't believe in them. He was asked if he sees any similarities between the Flames team and his cup-winning Kings teams, and he straight up said no. He's like, no. He was literally crowning the Avalanche the Kings of the Western Conference. Their coach, the Flames coach, was like, yeah, I don't know how the Avalanche are going to be beaten this year. It's like, dude, you're supposed to be the biggest roadblock. What are you talking about?
Dude, I actually like his coaching style. I watched that interview. That was a little while ago, actually. But I watched that interview, and he was subliminally Is that the word? Like
I don't know what that
talking.
word means.
Are you being a dick?
I have no idea what subliminal means.
It means like a message that is not directly apparent, but is clearly conveyed. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
Yeah.
Like, so he was subliminally telling his team, you guys are not good enough the way that you are right now. Like, I like that play style. It's like, you ask us, are we good enough? No, we're not fucking good enough. This guy's showing up to practice a half an hour late. This guy's boozing it up every night before practice. You know, like just calling people out, holding people accountable. I like this guy. What's his name? Daryl Sutter.
Wow, very perceptive. Let's go.
I was
Just
right.
one, yeah, sniper. How are you? There was 5 Sutters in the NHL. There's 5 of those brothers that played in the NHL. Those guys back in the day.
Those
Either
guys
way,
know hockey.
yeah. Um, the craziest part about how the Flames are getting all this love from all over the league and all these analysts and bracketologists, guess who had more regulation or overtime wins than the Flames? Just
Is this an
wins.
actual guess?
Just wins
In the West,
in the entire league.
the Bruins.
The Bruins. The Bruins had one more regulation overtime win. They're the 7 seed in the East. The 7 seed. There's a lot of what's it called? When all parity, when all the teams are super close. Like, I get that. Like, everybody's record is going to be relatively the same points percentage wise. The Bruins, the only reason why they're behind the Flames is because the Flames have 6 more regulation losses than the Bruins. They have 4 more points and 6 more regulation losses. Less wins. Regardless, 6 of the 8 teams in the Eastern Conference have more wins than the.
Oh, wait, the Flames are the 2 seed?
They're the 2 seed in the West, but they're the 1 seed by a
Yikes!
mile in the
Yikes!
Pacific. And you could say, oh, the Atlantic play they play Montreal and Ottawa and Buffalo and Detroit. Those teams had just about the same amount of points as the bottom 3 teams in the Pacific. And the Pacific still, their top teams, the Oilers, the Kings, they're trash too. And the Bruins have to play the Panthers and the Leafs and the Lightning 4 times a year. And all 4 of these teams in the same division have more wins than the top team in the Pacific. It is pitiful. Why are we crowning these guys as the best team in the West? Dude.
All right. Let me, you just, it was a rhetorical question that you asked, but let me just propose this to you. They don't have to play any of those teams in the East until they get to the finals. So, I mean, do you know what I'm saying? Like, all they have to beat is the Avalanche, is what you're saying. Pretty much what you're saying is if they can get past the Avalanche, they've proven to themselves and the rest of the league that they can get past anybody in the East. Because the Avalanche, I think, were clearly the best team in the NHL this year.
I agree with the Avalanche being the best team in the NHL. I think Panthers got a lot of wins and points just based off of outscoring the other team, not being like an actual fundamentally great hockey team.
Dude, I got a lot on that later.
But my last point was, dude, so they're playing Dallas. Dallas is in the Central, they're the wild card. They ended up being the first wild card, so they play the top team in the Pacific. They switch divisions. Dallas has unreal competition this year. Minnesota, St. Louis, and Colorado are all wagons. Great teams. The Atlantic and the Central are very similar. The Metro is kind of in between, a little bit worse than both of those divisions, and the Pacific is definitely the worst. So it's almost like the Flames have to go through Dallas, which I think is going to be way harder than people think. And obviously, you know my sentiment. I don't think they're getting out of the first round, the Flames. But they have to go against Dallas. It was a great team, great defensive, just fundamental. They got playoff experience. They got a bunch of young guys coming up. Jason Robertson had 40 goals this year. How are you? You probably don't even know who that is.
No.
So they get through the first round, say the Flames. Okay, you can probably skate through the second round because it's one of your division rivals, 2 teams that are terrible. Like the Oilers and the Kings, they're probably not getting through the Flames or the Stars, in my opinion. But Western Conference Final, you have zero chance against any of those three teams. Zero chance.
Yeah, I agree.
Colorado, St. Louis, Minnesota is going to run through Calgary. No problem. So that's my opinion. I don't know why everybody's crowning them Western Conference champs. I don't think they beat any team that comes from the Central Division. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
Now we're done with the Flames rant.
That exhale.
Now we go to the Bruins game. Yikes. But not actually yikes. This is going to be a relatively tempered take. Joe probably thinks I'm going to come in here with depression and the season's over.
No, dude, you wouldn't preface your whatever you're going to say here with that if you were going to come in all Debbie Downer.
No, so, I know, but if I didn't preface that, I think you'd expect I was going to be a little upset and irrational.
I mean, I could kick it off with something positive. Didn't the Bruins outshoot Carolina? At least in it, they did, right?
They did.
Boys, we're gonna be all right, boys. First game of the playoffs, boys are probably buzzing, maybe a little hopped up on some salad. Who knows, boys?
Hopped up on salad. That's a new one. I like it. All right. Dude, so you go through ebbs and flows in a hockey game. The Bruins, they hung in there, dude. And not even hung in there. Like you said, they were controlling shots. Bruins.
Yeah, they had a lot of chances. A lot of good chances in that first and second period, especially.
Kind of, yeah. They had they had probably just as many chances as Carolina. No. They played a strong, in my opinion, they played a strong 30 minutes. First half of the game. First full period. Great first period. Halfway through the second, started breaking down a little bit. The first goal of the game was scored with 3:32 left on the clock in the second period. Seth Jarvis tip. You got beat by
a snipe.
The
tip was a snipe.
I mean, it was a nice bouncer. Like you like to clip it so that it goes like it's a hard bounce, so it bounces up, so the goalie has no chance. But shot from the point, you got beat by a shot from the point. That sucks. So, okay, we're down 1-0. Crowd is fired up. Couple minutes later, they get another goal from around the point. Far shot, not a lot of traffic. Nino Niederreiter, top of the slot, in between the slot and the point. Another probably should have saved it. Need to get more traffic in front, more bodies blocking shots. I thought the Bruins were blocking shots all game and dominating blocking shots. Carolina had 16, the Bruins had 9. And 7 of the 16 block shots for Carolina were forwards. I think the Bruins had 1 forward have a block shot. So they score the second goal. Okay, the Bruins are going into the third down 2-0. They actually started the third really well. They came out energy. Stahl was shutting down the top line. Marshy and Bergie were kind of non-factors. JD feeds off of his line mates. He the energy was there from the guys, but dude, Stahl was kind of bullying like an older Bergeron, I thought, the whole game.
Hall brought the energy. That top line did not bring the energy. I think that in general, Marchand tends to like dance too much. I mean, it's easy to say that. There's those guys in every sport. Like, I'll bring up Saquon in the NFL because that guy pisses me off how much he dances. In the NBA, you could say James Harden. But continue what you're saying.
No, I 100% agree.
Somebody that like possesses the pocket, like possesses the ball and controls the game, but it's mostly just dancing and it doesn't produce anything for anybody else. And it's risky. It's like, why? But I still love him.
Basically, my point with saying bringing the energy, they were hustling. They were trying to make plays. They didn't connect. They weren't having a lot of chemistry. They weren't having a lot of production on offense at all. I don't know how many shots they had, but it was probably Stahl versus Bergeron. Stahl's line probably had more. Bergeron was 43% in the faceoffs. He's usually the faceoff king. He's getting beat by Stahl. That's kind of just the first line, but you mentioned the second line. They were bringing the energy. Taylor Hall had one shift in the third period. He had one post, but he had a couple beautiful setups. He was flying around. He took the puck from the O zone on a rebound. He took it back to the neutral zone, just skated around, then flew into the O zone, took on a 1-on-3, hit the post. Like Taylor Hall, like he was bringing it. So we get the Taylor Hall goal 3 minutes into the third, just under 3 minutes in. Crowd goes down a little bit. It's a 2-1 hockey game. We're tight. You know, you want to hang on, play just as well as you were playing before when it was tied. Carolina got a couple goals. We're right in it. We're down 1. The Grizzly pinch goal. I don't know exactly what time this happened in the game, but puck's going around the boards. Grizzly pinches down from the left top corner of the O zone. He hits the puck a little bit, but it pushes out.
But it skips over him, dude.
Yeah, no.
And he didn't get enough contact on the forward, right?
Yeah, I mean,
he didn't get enough contact on the forward. No, the defenseman.
No,
I always
forward.
mix that up.
No, the forward. He
was the defenseman.
Joe, I need you to stop a little bit. He came in, pinched down on the defenseman, and the defenseman won the battle. He chipped it past him, and the forward was all alone, 2-on-1 with Carlo. Carlo lays down, perfect pass in between two sticks, the back checker and Carlo hits Teravainen on a 2-on-1. Omar's got to make a save at some point, dude. If there was a high danger chance, he's not making saves.
Dude, what are you talking about? They had like 3 breakaways. Dude, it's not an argument. I'm saying I understand that save. It would have been extremely timely and obviously would have changed the game. But the Hurricanes had like 3 breakaways and he was the only one there and he saved it.
I don't recall, but I remember that 2-on-1 and that was totally savable. Teravainen put him in a tight corner spot. Great shot. It's 3-1. The Bruins are down. Okay, we're not down that bad. It's 3-1. We're totally still in it. The crowd is buzzing, though. It's 0-0 pretty much the rest of the way. 2 garbage goals with 3 minutes left. It should have been a 3-1 loss. It was a 5-1 loss. We pulled the goalie right after the first goal went in. I mean, after the fourth goal went in, we pulled the goalie right away, and then they scored right away again. So it's 5-1. Wasn't really like a 5-1 loss, but a couple things going into next game. I don't think we're down that bad. I think we could still steal one in Carolina. We have to get more high danger chances. The power play needs to wake up. What was it? The second line is buzzing like we mentioned, but we're almost playing not to make mistakes a lot of the time. We're kind of just dumping it in. There wasn't a lot of creativity on offense, in my opinion. But Chris Chelios made a remark on when he was analyzing post game. He was saying that Trocheck goal, it was the 4th goal after the Teravainen goal. He went off the mask. He went off the back of the helmet.
I saw that.
That's tough, dude.
And he shot it from behind the goal. Did you see that replay?
Yeah, like that's a skilled goal, very good play, but goalie should never let that happen to them. That's something you got to cover. You got to cover the post. You got to seal it off. That can't happen. So just like Chelly was saying, I'm going to go with his remark. You got to get Sway Train in there. I think you switch up the goalies. Like people would say it's too soon, ride the hot hand. I think Omar could have played better. Like we were just disagreeing upon like whether or not Omar needs to make that save on that 2-on-1. Rask has made that save an unbelievable amount of times throughout all the playoff runs. It's kind of like one of those, we really, really, really need this save, and there it goes. So it was like, I don't know. I think you switch up the goalie. Power play needs to wake up. Bergeron needs to start winning draws. Some phantom calls in this game. The Bergeron trip was ridiculous.
Dude, oh my God. They were like, the announcers were like, yeah, his stick got caught in between his legs. They show the replay 1 second after that, and Bergeron's stick is around the guy's legs, and what is it called? A toe spike?
toe pick. Yeah,
toe picked,
he
and he
tripped
tripped
himself up.
himself, dude.
So that was a missed call. Halla was in the box in the first for a phantom hold. Like it didn't. We were kind of getting screwed in the playoff department. I mean the penalty department. Um, there was a lot of blocked shots, like I mentioned, but for game two, Joe, I want you to watch out for these guys: Trocheck 16, Domi's number 13, and Kakaniemi. They got him from Montreal this past year. He's number 82. These guys are rats. Kakaniemi was making runs at our smaller guys. He's a young rascal. He has absolutely no regard like for safety at all. He's actually like a really dangerous player. Um, just watch out for those guys. Don't get injured. They're going after Grizzly just because he's small. Gotta protect our guys. It seemed like Carolina, anytime there was a scrum, they were outsizing us, out physicaling us. So last point was Canes are 39-4-6 during the regular season when they scored the first goal. So it's kind of a lot.
Tough shift.
Anything else you got on the Bruins?
I think game two will look a lot different. I mean, I'm going to say the same thing about all of the series in the NBA too. Also, the Blues Wild. I mean, we're going to talk about that, but I'm not taking these game ones as an. I'm not allowing myself to overreact to any of this shit, except for the Mavs. I'll explain that. Yeah, I have so much to say.
I'm a little bit on the other side of the fence just because two of the games were very dominating. The Bruins game was not a dominant, like Carolina did not dominate us.
I agree.
The score did not indicate how the game went. For the Blues game, it did. Blues shit on the Wild, and the Wild had no answer. A lot of their offense, their goals, some of the goals they were getting, like, come on. You left that guy wide open. The Blues are out physicaling them, winning every 50-50 puck. That's what I was going to cover next. Ryan O'Reilly is unbelievable. He looks like the hunchback of Notre Dame out there. He's skating around like this. He's got like big pads on his back, it looks like. And he's just poking his stick out there, blocking passes all day long. He's unbelievable. He gets his stick on everything. And then he plays with David Perron, who snipes. This guy has had the weirdest career, David Perron. This is his third stint with the Blues. I don't know how old he is, but this is the third time that he's been traded from and came back to the Blues. He's been back since they won the Cup in 2019, but he's like their leading point getter. He was like a third liner when he got traded the first time, I think. And now he's like their bona fide stud, David Perron. He's fucking filthy. And I miss Torrey Krug. Grizzlick doesn't fight back, and I love Grizzlick, and I love him. Like he's a really small guy like Krug, but Krug's got a little bit of meat. Krug still throws hits. I was watching that game, and it's like he's trying to like hit guys and like face wash and like right after the whistle, he brings the energy every time. I miss Torrey Krug. He was my favorite player when he was a Bruin. You got anything else on this game? Yeah, just Kirill Kaprizov. That guy is unbelievable, but he's kind of like Luka a little bit, where the offense has to run through him. He expects the puck on his stick when he's open immediately, like all this stuff. Kind of whole team runs through him, but it's not going to work, especially with St. Louis having the centers that they have, the depth, and the physical play. Next game is Lightning Leafs. Whew. Dude, this is like the series everybody's been looking forward to for a couple of years. I wanted to make this point in the preview. The Bruins and the Leafs have this history where they've played each other in the first round a couple times. Leafs Lightning fans have kind of been robbed of that in their prime. This is the first time they're playing each other in each of the team's primes. It is like long awaited. These teams really hate each other. They play each other 4 times a year and they've never played in the playoffs. They want to like kill each other. Evidence, there was a massive fight, blood everywhere. Unbelievable. I didn't really get to see it in depth or like who was part of it besides like Pat Maroon and Simmons. And I saw Morgan Riley try to fight Pat Maroon. Pat Maroon pulled his jersey over his head, gave him a couple socks in the
Yeah, I saw
melon.
that.
But the with the hockey itself, the Leafs look fast. Their stars are showing up. Matthews had 2 goals. Marner had a goal.
Oh,
5-0 goal. I mean 5-0 game. The thing is that I think in the very beginning of the game, the Leafs had a trip and they killed that off. And then they had, did you see that Kyle Clifford hit from the back?
I know he got suspended.
Yeah, he absolutely
Oh yeah, against the boards. He got clocked.
he absolutely railroaded this guy. He's suspended for 1 game. They killed the 5-minute penalty off. And once that happened, in my mind and in a lot of hockey fans' minds, I think it's like, all right, the Leafs PK is no joke, number 1, and number 2, I think they can handle the Lightning. The Lightning are supposed to have like one of the most renowned, unbelievable power plays in the league, and they shut them down no problem. They got a power play right after the PK ended, and they scored on that, I think. The Leafs are rolling. They're playing fast. But Tampa's playing desperate, and that's that's very dangerous for any team playing them. They could show up at any point and just start killing you with their system. And, they're tired, but now they're going to play desperate, and that's a whole different animal.
I like it.
Yeah, so Clifford got the 1 game suspension. But last game of the night was Oilers Kings. The Oilers dropped 1 at home, and I definitely pussied out of the Kings pick. I can't believe I just said that word. We're gonna try to soften the language, but
I don't know if I can handle that today, dude. With the Luka rant, I'm so angry at this fucking guy. Wow, I couldn't even.
But
Go.
I went against my heart with this pick. In my head, I was like, if the Oilers have to play run and gun against a team, they're probably going to end up winning. But you're playing the Kings, who are completely defensive minded, and Jonathan Quick in the playoffs might turn into Jonathan Quick of 2012. The Kings won. Kings won game 1. I really wish I went with the Kings, but I went with the Oilers just because logically it's like they should be able to win this. This should be a walk in the park.
Agree.
But a little bit holding me back. Like, you should have went with the Kings, dude. I feel good about the Kings winning the series right now.
Is that an overreaction? Did I just snipe? Did I just hear you overreact?
The Oilers are way too reliant on McJesus. It's gonna be
Dude, that guy had a crazy goal.
Yeah, I mean he
is so fast.
I mean, it's the hands too, because there's a lot of guys that can go almost just as fast as McDavid, but his hands go just as fast as his feet, so can't even catch up to him. We're running out of time on this Zoom, but we're gonna go and then I guess record another one.
Well, how much? We just have to talk about the NBA now. How much time? We have 10 minutes.
It says we have 7.
All right. Well, I'll talk about the NBA. Fine.
All right, rip through it.
All right. Last night, the Suns beat the Mavericks by 6. The Suns were at home. This game was in no shape or form a close game, as the score might have led box score watchers on to believe.
I feel like that's pointed comment.
Dude, watching the end of the game, I was like, they are so Luka-centric. So I went back. NBA.com always has the game. You can watch the full game. So I went back and I watched every possession of that the Mavericks had, and I took some notes. My notes amounted to this. Luka Doncic is like, when they say the offense runs through him, it is anyone sets a screen on whoever's guarding him so that he could switch onto somebody else. There's almost no pick and roll play. It's pick and get the fuck out of the way. So Luka is literally ISOing almost every single offensive possession that they have. And so 14, Luka had 15 baskets out of, I think, 30 or 31 shots officially taken, including shots when he was fouled. You know what I'm saying? Like, he gets fouled, they don't count the shot, but he gets the free throws. He was 15 of 37. 14 out of his 15 baskets were unassisted. 14 out of 15. Right there. That's isolation basketball. He had 5 turnovers. The rest of the team had 3 combined. Luka had 8 assists. That is Luka ISO basketball, waiting until there's 4 seconds on the clock and passing it to someone who their options are, number one, take the shot that he gave them, which is most of the time in the corner. And the guy is closing on him because he knows Luka's either going to shoot or pass it. So once he passes, the guy's already in his face. So right there, that's a bad shot. If that guy chooses not to take that shot, this guy has to figure out in 4 seconds a shot to be able to get up before the shot clock expires. What does that result in? Terrible shots. Just completely guarded, like low percentage, fall away, getting hacked, whatever it is, shots. The rest of the team had 8 assists combined. The rest of the fucking team. And I bet 6 of them were from Luka waiting till the end of the shot clock, passing it out to somebody else, and it was a hockey assist to the corner. That being said, Maxi Kleber hit 6 3-pointers in this game. It was 22-7, and Maxi hit like 3 in a row on 3 possessions. All of those passes were either hockey assists from Luka doing his bullshit, or Luka, dude, he's literally driving to the basket in slow motion, like he's in practice, jumps, turns around, flails his body, sends the pass cross court, could have been picked off. Maxi, money bags. They need to utilize him more. Team got out rebounded 51-36. That is fucking despicable. 20 possessions where Luka was isolation with no field goal made by the entire team. 14 possessions where Luka isolation with a field goal made. Plus 5 turnovers. Plus 8 plays where Luka dominated the possession and passed it with less than 5 seconds on the shot clock. All of them didn't result in a basket. And 8 assists. All of those add up to 55 possessions plus, because I didn't get to count all of them. 55 possessions where Luka was the primary ball handle decision maker. I didn't get a chance to look up this guy's usage rate on the game, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's above 80%. I don't know how a team is supposed to be successful in a 1-on-5 situation. I cannot fucking believe that this guy gets this much credit for a 45-point fucking game that his team was getting hammered the entire game. This is the quote from Coach Jason Kidd. I thought Maxi and Luka in that first half kept us afloat. What? We could have easily been down 39 at halftime, but Maxi and LD were good. LD was good in the second half too. We just got to get somebody to join the party. You need to invite the rest of your fucking team to the party. No one was involved. Brunson couldn't get in rhythm. Dinwiddie was a no-show until the fourth quarter. All of these guys' shots that they're taking are impossible to make. Impossible to fucking make.
Surprised they scored so much.
I'm surprised too, dude. And this game was like a 19-point game, and Dallas went on a run at the end of the game because the Suns clearly were like, all right, we got this. It's fine. And then when they got it close, it was a free throw affair with 8. It was an 8-point game. They started shooting free throws. It was a wrap. And then, dude, so there's what Jason Kidd said. This is what Monty Williams said, the coach on the Suns. I like the fact that we weren't settling for threes tonight. A lot of guys were attacking the paint we were getting floaters and rim shots. Another stat. Here we go. This one's unfucking believable. The Mavericks took, as a team, 11 layups. They took 11 layups the entire game. 11 layups. I can't fucking believe how much credit Luka Doncic gets for how this Mavericks team. Dude, they won that Mavericks series. He did not win that the Jazz series. Unfucking believable how much credit this guy gets. I wouldn't be surprised if the Suns sweep Dallas. And all of the role players, Brunson, Dinwiddie, Kleber, I wouldn't be surprised if Finney Smith get the fuck out of Dallas. For your own sake, get the fuck